This is for Year 12 Specialists. It comes out of 4D. It's a question in number 11C. What impact does this I have? Well, it has a profound impact because if you multiply a r chis theta with I, then you swap the component. So I times r cos theta plus I r sine theta becomes r cos theta I plus r sine theta I squared, which effectively puts the I on the r cos theta minus r sine theta. And I don't have chis anymore because my i's on the cos and I want it on the sine, and my sine has become negative. Okay, so let's work through this. I need to explore what root 3 minus 1 to the power of 7 is. And if that's multiplied by I, then we're going to have 2 to the 7 cos, which will be 2 to the 7 cos of 5 pi on 6I minus 2 to the 7 sine 5 pi on 6. And my answer has to be given in r chis theta form. So I've got to get the I back over here, and I've got to get this as positive. So I've got to do two things. I've got to turn that to positive, and I've got to turn that to cos, and I've got to turn that to sine. Okay, so if I'm thinking about where 5 pi on 6 is, that's 5 pi on 6. So the sine of 5 pi on 6 is positive, but the sine of negative 5 pi on 6 is negative. So if I swap this to the sine of minus 5 pi on 6, then this answer is negative, but a negative times a negative, that just turned it into positive. But the cos of 5 pi on 6 is this x value. So the cos of 5 pi on 6 is negative, and the cos of minus 5 pi on 6 is also negative. So I can turn this one into the cos of negative 5 pi on 6, and it still is the same value. So what did I deliberately do? I needed to have these two angles the same, because to turn it into chis form, the theta has to be the same in both positions. I deliberately chose minus 5 pi on 6 because it turned the sine to negative, but kept the cos positive. Now, I need to turn this into a sine, so there's sine with the I. I'm going to use the complementary angle rules. So the complementary angle rules tells me that minus 5 pi and 6, we're in the third quadrant. That the cos of 3 pi on 2 minus theta equals the negative sine of theta. And that the sine of 3 pi on 2 minus theta will equal negative cos of theta. So here is my theta, and this angle here represents and this angle here represents 3 pi on 2 minus theta. But this is my theta. So if I've got the angle which is minus 5 pi on 6, I'm interested in this being theta. And that should be pi on 2 minus pi on 6, because this is pi on 3. So that's going to be pi on 3. Therefore, this angle here is minus 2 pi on 3. So that is correct However, I want positives, so that's going to equal the sine of 2 pi on 3 negative. That's going to equal the cos of negative 2 pi on 3. Because negative 2 pi on 3 is this angle, and that's going to be negative in that quadrant, and that's going to be negative in that quadrant. So 2 to the 7, cos of that becomes sine minus 2 pi on 3 plus 2 to the 7 cos, where's my eyes there, negative 2 pi on 3. Therefore, the answer is 2 to the 7 chis minus 2 pi on 3.